Hello, my name is Lindsey Latham. This is a psychic chat. This is live, but if you catch the replay, amazing. Please watch this until the end. Like the video, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, and join another live if you are catching the replay. Please watch the whole thing, even if you put it on 2x speed or turn it down and play it in the background. I really would like to get in the partner program by or before January 27, because then they're raising the watch time hours. They're doubling them to 8,000. Right now, I need 3,500 watch time hours to get in the partner program, and I would really like to be in that. Okay, so I just got disconnected, and it may happen again, and it's such a pain in my ass. But somebody just asked me if I would share how I got into being a Reiki practitioner and all of my psychic stuff. So I was going to answer the question, and then I got cut off. So Reiki, Usui Reiki, U-S-U-I, Reiki, R-E-I-K-I, which they say is an ancient Japanese healing method, but it's actually a lot. It's way older than that. Usui Reiki is the basis pretty much of all other Reiki systems. Nobody is supposed to own it. It is available for all. You get certified through another master teacher, which I have been a master teacher now for 6 years. It was 6 years last month. I was a master level for 13 years before that. I have an older sister. She is 10 years older than me. She became a certified Reiki practitioner in the 90s. And when I was 24, which was in 2005, something like that. Back then, I had gotten my shit together for a little bit, and I just got done with probably the 5th or 6th rehab I'd ever been to, and my sister offered to start giving me the attunements to become a Reiki practitioner. So she taught me, and which is pretty much a manual that you read, and then you go through the attunement process with a master teacher, which, to put into fast terms, so we're not here all day talking about this, the master teacher passes the symbols, because Reiki is channeled through symbols, but in order to be a practitioner, the master teacher has to pass the symbols. So essentially replicating the symbols that are already ingrained in their system from going through their attunement process with their master teacher. They guide the symbols out of their energy body, and they get placed into certain areas within the student's energy body. It's like receiving spiritual symbol tattoos ingrained into specific areas of your energy grid within your body and in your hands. Level 1, you're only permitted to work on yourself and animals. And then a level 2, you go through another attunement process with a master teacher, which I did about 6 months later. And at a level 2, you receive a new symbol that transcends time and space. So you're able to work on people from long distance. You don't have to be in the same room. They can be on the other side of the world, and you can provide them healing. And then about 6 months later, I went to my master level, which is receiving another symbol ingrained into your system and in another attunement process. Now, the master level, you once you hit that level of the process, the Reiki, you become the Reiki essentially. Like before level 1 and 2, you're channeling the energy through your body. Once you're at a master level, the symbols are, once the master level symbol is ingrained into your grid, you become the Reiki. It is, you are a constant conduit for the Reiki, which if you don't know what Reiki is, it's a universal life force energy that is not capable of doing anything but healing, and it heals the levels mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical, which is everything that's here on Earth. And I was at a master level for 13 years until I got off heroin and meth for the long haul and had my son. And then about 6 months or so after I had my son, I was ready to move to the master teacher level, which was 6 years ago in July. And so I've been a master teacher, which that means I'm able to pass attunements and certify others in Usui Reiki. It is the basis of everything that I do. It is how I protect my energy. It is how I ensure that I am always working with the light and in the light and in a protected space, and that I am always protected, and it removes interference and all kinds of stuff. So it's at the basis of everything I do within my professional practice. And because it has changed my life for the better. Usui Reiki has principles. There's 5 principles, and let's see if I can name them. It kind of reminds me of the AA system because they use just for today. Just for today, I will be kind to every living creature. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up. Just for today. It might only be 4. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will not worry. Hold on. Let me double check this just because. Anyway, so a natural progression, while I check this, a natural progression of Usui Reiki and going through the attunement process is these principles are also ingrained into your energy grid. Now, I have met people who have gone through their attunement process and they've gone to their master level, but they've never practiced. They don't practice it. They don't pay attention to it. They just got the attunements and kind of just forgot about it, never used it. So it's not going to be prevalent in those people. You've got to use this and practice it. And I did. I didn't really have much else to lean on. Reiki, I knew I could do Reiki, but I didn't go to college. I didn't have a career. I could never really hold a regular job because I wasn't supposed to. So when you're on the streets and you're out there, you use what you've got to survive. So I really learned to lean on my Reiki practice, not just to work on others, but to protect myself. Okay, let's see. Usui, UI, Reiki principles. Okay, it's 5. So just for today, I will not be angry, or do not anger. Do not worry. Oh, be grateful. That's the one I forgot. Do your work honestly and be kind to every living creature. So the grateful one I forgot, which I'm surprised I forgot that one. That's just like a given with me of being grateful. So just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I'll be grateful. Just for today, I'll do my work honestly. And just for today, I'll be kind to every living creature. Does that sound like a devil worship to you? Just for today, I will not be angry. This person just asked, because I know on these lives you can't see the comments. This person just said, is this some kind of devil worship? And then they ask, where do you receive the levels? Okay, I'm going to answer your first question. I'm going to ask you a rhetorical question. Do the Usui Reiki principles, there's 5 of them, and they are, just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful for everything. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. And just for today, I will be kind to every living creature. Does that sound like demonic work to you? Does that sound like devil worship? I'm just saying. If you think that sounds like devil worshiping, what is your concept of angelic or light work? I would really love to know. Because to me, that seems like ass backwards. Which very well, you could be programmed and brainwashed to think ass backwards like that. I don't know. Where do you receive the levels? You work with a master teacher. So there's master teachers, Usui, Reiki. Master teachers are the ones who are able to pass the attunements to certify you in the levels. There's level 1, level 2, master level, and then master teacher. I've been a master teacher for 6 years, and I was a master level for 13 years prior. I waited until I got off heroin and meth to go to my master teacher level. But I was a level 1, level 2. I did all of those in the first year and went to the master level at the end of the first year and then stayed there. Okay, so, how did I get into the psychic stuff? So well, I started having psychic experiences when I was a teenager. The first thing that really started happening was, well, it started happening way earlier than that. I mean, my sister says, people tell me I used to have really bad dreams and stuff when I was little and complain of seeing things, and I think my sister would even have dreams of me being chased, or I don't know. Shit was going on when I was young, but I didn't really realize it. But when I was a teenager, I started naturally going out of my body at night, but I didn't know what was going on. And so that started around 15. I started having experiences that were weird, and I didn't know what was going on. Around age 20, well, around age 19, the telepathy kicked in. But back then, that was in the year 2000 or 99 or something like that, 2000, or maybe not, like 2001 or something. And this stuff was really not talked about back then, and I really thought I was losing my mind. And I was even diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia by the Social Security Administration, but I'm not, no. That guy just jumped the gun, because I just went in there and I was just very, very honest. But I was also doing a lot of methamphetamine, and methamphetamine will enhance that stuff, and If you don't know what it is, it can make you go crazy. But I ended up just kind of throwing myself into it and allowing myself to have the experiences to the point where I learned that I was taken care of, and I also was going through the process of debunking the bullshit of my mind. So what causes this schizophrenic kind of shit is that your heart is at battle with your brainwashed mind. So we're told that if you hear voices, you're crazy. If you hear voices, you're schizophrenic. If you hear voices, you're supposed to be in a mental institution. All of that shit. And then all of the other conditioning, that if you hear voices, it's demons. If you know, there's all of these imposed belief systems that have been imposed onto you and ingrained into your mind since a very young age. So I went through a long process of proving my mind to be full of shit. So when I was having scary experiences, at the beginning I was just scared. But then I was alone a lot. So at times. So, and like kind of outcasted by no matter where the fuck who or what cliques I would get involved with. I would always kind of be an outcast. Or excommunicated, or I always had haters, but I always had like the main dude, so I was hated by a bunch of girls. It's just stupid shit, stupid like clique gang behavior. I was in the rave scene from the time I was 13, so I was involved with some nefarious people doing crazy shit. But outcasted still a lot. So I was alone a lot. So I started to just go towards my fears. I started going towards them. So if I was like hallucinating or seeing shadow people or thinking things were like chasing me or watching me, I finally was just like, fuck this. And I started going towards the shit. So if I was scared of it, I went towards it instead of running from it. And it was always not there. There were never cops watching me. There was never anything my mind was trying to tell me was real and that was happening wasn't happening. It was bullshit. So after I did that so much, I proved my mind to be full of shit. So I moved deeper into my core operating system and was following my intuitive feelings and not what my mind was trying to get me all wrapped up in all this fear and shit. And so it would be crazy hanging out with people too who would be like, there's a cop over there, there's a cop standing behind that tree, da da da. I'm like, no, there's not. I was like, walk over there. There is no fucking cop standing behind that tree. Like, it's not there, I promise. So once you cross over that threshold of proving your mind to be bullshit, then things get a lot easier. And because I've gone through all of that stuff, I'm able to offer a unique perspective and teach from a unique perspective when helping others with psychic development, because of the extensive psychological warfare I have gone through within my own psyche and what I have come to learn and know about it. I'm able to teach and point out certain functions that will enable you to see and experience the mind in a different way and see it in a different light, as well as prove to you, I provide the testing. You prove it to yourself. I'm not proving anything to you. I'm just guiding you through the tests that I create. You're able to see and experience the difference between the mind and the core operating system of psychic intelligence. Will you guys please like the video if you're here? Hi, Matt. I was attacked. Do you mean psychologically by 2 people at one time? You might know her. Who? Know her from where? Austin? And how? I don't understand this attacking psychologically. Like, I've never partaked in things of that sort. So people who intend and go out to psychologically attack others is like, what the fuck? That's dangerous ground. I don't know who that is. Is it somebody related to the fuckhead? Beatty Epstein. How would I know? How would I know this person? I don't know any Epsteins. Yeah, and I don't know about any of that either. Like, I specifically have intentionally stayed out of any kind of religious programming any more than I had to be, like, subject to because of grandparents or parents. So I don't know any. Oh, you're saying that, so she's evil, the cabal, that cabal. How the fuck did you end up around people like that? No, she probably is related to Epstein then. Ah. I used to know a guy, God, what the fuck was his name? We have the same birthday. He was from Texas too. He's related to like 50 presidents. God, what was his name? Durwood. His name's Durwood. I can't remember his last name though. Durwood Mahoon, maybe? He was like, his dad, I think his dad, this is what he said anyway, and this guy's like in his 60s now. He can barely function, 60s or late 60s. He's in bad shape. His dad was one of the like founders of the CIA or some shit. I might be saying his name wrong. Durwood. I'm pretty sure it's Durwood. I might be fucking up his last name though. But yeah, I've luckily have been shielded from, I mean, people have done fucking shit spell work on me that I've seen backfire, but I mean, you can really only be affected by that stuff until you're conscious. Once you're conscious, it really can't have an effect on you. It just backfires on the ones who do it. But I've never been into dark anything. Like, there are there's some things that's just stuck with me from a young age. Like, my sister told me never to do spell work on another person. or it would come back to me like tenfold, and that stuck with me. So I've never done any kind of energy work against another. Plus I have experiences of people doing that shit on me, and I could never inflict things onto others like that. So it's like everything you only have control over your own energy anyway. So the shit that people are doing, it's just really, I don't know, it's just stupid to me. You can't impose your will onto someone else and think that that's going to be okay. It just doesn't work that way. It will backfire. And then I remember back in the like AOL days, I got an email from like the Scientology people, and some I was reading the email, and some of it kind of made sense because I've been into spiritual stuff since a very, very young age. And my mom I think I asked my mom about it, and my mom was like, don't. She was like, nope. She was like, don't even. She's like, don't even read that shit. And that stuck with me. And so I never fucked with anything like that either. So I know that you're not into the dark. But you've come in contact with like some evil motherfuckers, which I have too, I guess. I mean, I've been around a lot of evil, demonic motherfuckers, and I mean, some of the best friends in my life have been demonic motherfuckers, but never have I ever like that caliber. That's like deep shit, like deep, you know, just a whole other level. Yeah, and then the thing about witches is like it's like this like I don't know, anything that has to do with a group like that, like needing a coven, or even like gangs, like needing a gang. It's just kind of like, it's just another form of brainwashing to me. And it seems like I've come across some groups of witches who have tried to fucking take me out. And it's like, why the fuck, if you need a group of motherfuckers to try and take out one person, like how fucking powerful are you? You're not. It's like you need a fucking rack of motherfuckers to come against one person, and I didn't even fucking do anything to you. It's like that's stupid shit. That's weak ass shit. You don't need anybody. Not when you're fucking real. When you're in real power. I don't need some spell book or some other witch's ways of doing things. That's all inside. Why am I going to follow somebody else's shit? I started to see when I would look at spell books and stuff, I was reading through things and realizing that with my own practice that was intuitive, I was doing the same shit. Like I already knew it. I didn't need it. I was like, this is stupid. You know, and that's just bringing yourself into another level of a hierarchy where you're putting people above you, below. That it's like, it's fucking all shit still operating in the mind. That's egoic shit. Egoic games of the mind. When? Just now? About the heart rate thing. I have to figure out how to get 3,500 watch time hours on this channel. And I only have until January. Oh, when I was attacked by witches. No, not really. No. No fucking way. I have so much protection. I have such a strong practice. Witches who have fucked with me didn't know who they were fucking with because I come off as dumb and weak, and I don't look like what I've been through, nor do I look like my age. So my looks are very deceiving, and I treat people with kindness and respect, and so people think I'm naive. And so, I mean, that's their bad. But no, nothing, I've never been in any kind of real danger. Thank you. I'm getting old, 44. I'm not young by any means. And I've done a lot of drugs for a very long time. Preserved my looks somehow. But all that shit comes from within. That stuff comes from within. Predictions for the no. And my suggestion is to not get involved with that shit. I don't vote. I'm not going to be a part of that problem. That is a problem, and I do not contribute. I do not want to be responsible energetically or in any way. It's all bullshit anyway. You really think that those elections are real? It's a fucking game. It's literally like a show. Like them putting Kamala Harris with Donald Trump, they did that shit on purpose. They knew that Kamala Harris wasn't, that was comical to me. They did that on purpose. My wish for all of that is that it would absolutely collapse to the fucking ground and that our military would turn against our government and take them down the way that they're supposed to. That is what I would like to see happen. And I would even kind of like to see the grid completely go out so all of this shit collapses and we start over. Or Mother Nature take out all the evil motherfuckers in the government all at once so we can all be free to start over from a place of honesty, integrity, and love. That's what I would like to see happen. Will that happen? I don't know. I know if they don't fucking do something and get their shit together, Mother Nature will take out a rack of them at once. $41. What is 41? Oh. You're 41? What do you do in Texas? I was thinking about Austin today, about moving back down there. A paramedic, that's crazy. Have you ever run across those people that are supposedly aliens? When you cut into them, they're like internal, it's like gel. Are you RH negative? Thank you for the compliment about my hair. You're supposed to be RH negative? What does that mean? Are you O negative or O? You always see me angry and complaining. Well, that must mean you always are angry and complain then, if that's what you see from me. And you just don't express it. It's being mirrored back to you and me. There's a difference between anger and passion for injustices. What I express isn't coming from here. It's coming from here. It always cracks me up when people are like, you're so angry, you're so sad and so angry. It's like, I have never once looked at a person and been like propelled or even had the wherewithal to be like, Pam, why does your face look so sad and angry? What's wrong with you? You know, it's like, what? Like, look within instead of projecting onto the people around you. What is going on in the inside of you? Stop feeling the need to project your misery onto the people around you. If you feel the need to tell people things like that, is a clear indication that you need to be focusing on your own internal condition, not looking at a stranger like you need to just hurt them or try to hurt them or tell them about themselves when you don't even know anything about yourself. How could you think that you would know anything about anyone else? And why would you want to stop and talk to a person who you perceive as being angry and complaining all the time? That would mean that you are codependent on toxicity. If you're attracted to angry, complaining people, obviously you would be in alignment with that. So what anger are you holding within, and what the fuck are you complaining about all the time? Oh, my God! People on the internet. Keep cool even if surrounded by 10 enemies. I mean, you don't even know what fucking cool is. I can tell that shit from here. And keeping cool is not the same for everyone. I have a feeling you wouldn't even know what to do in real dire situations. Keeping cool, what do you know about that? What have you survived? Where you been? Feels like about no fucking where. And I'm not surrounded by any enemies. None. Eighth Starfish U app tonight. Did you watch those videos on my old Instagram? I know what you meant. I can go outside and show them to you right now too. They're literally, it's, okay, so I finally asked them what they are, and I was told that they're higher self technology. Anyone with the conscious awareness to look up and call, and just call them, which you can do telepathically or out loud. You can just look up and be like, okay, come here, and think to yourself, okay, come here, come closer, and you'll see one of them start to move down closer. It's like a bunch of them will activate, but then one will come and really activate and connect. But they're everywhere. They can be called. And then, because I've noticed that I've been protected by those things since I noticed, I think they've been with me forever, but I didn't notice them until like 15 years ago. And then I started noticing them in pictures even prior to that. And I was like, whoa, like they've been like around me. And I didn't have any awareness of it because I never thought about that shit till I was in Colorado, and I ended up doing a bunch of speed with this stranger, this guy, and we did research. And we're in Colorado Springs too, and there's a lot of UFO shit around there, and there's a lot of like religious shit around there, and Masons. Like, it's a really weird place. And this was in like 2014, because that first video was driving home from that trip, and we did research. He showed me like everything that he knew in like 3 days. We just sat there and did research on UFOs, and he was showing me all this kind of shit. And then I had to leave. I was driving back to Austin. It was like 3 in the morning, and we went out to his back porch, and I heard his cat go, "Rawr!" And then the ice machine went off in his kitchen, and I looked up, and about 20 feet above his house, I saw a fireball manifest out of nowhere. Manifest this fireball, and it went pew and shot like probably like 15-20 feet, and then went pew and disintegrated into smoke right in front of my eyes. It was not a hallucination. It like really fucking happened, and I was like, oh my God. And he didn't see it. He came outside, and I told him, and he was like, I'm so glad you saw that. And I was like, holy shit. So then I gave him a book. I gave him a book, The Power of Now, and it was actually one that I had taken all these kinds of notes in, and it was the one that my grandfather gave me, and he told me that he would send it back to me, and I gave it to him, and he ended up like not sending it back to me, and getting all weird after I talked to him after that, like a couple weeks later or whatever. I never saw the guy again. But then I got in the car to drive back to Austin, and that's when I noticed that thing. The thing where it was like it was a light, and then it was shining. There was something underneath it, and that was on my left side the whole time I was driving, but I didn't notice it until I was in these like mountains. And there was a huge moon that night, and it was a giant moon. It was like one of those huge moons, and that was on my right, and it was like orange. It was some crazy moon. And because people were like, it's the moon. I was like, no, the fuck, it's not the moon. The moon is over here, and this thing is over here, and it's right up there, and it doesn't make any noise, and it was too close to be an airplane, and it was too bright, and it was moving with me. It was like literally to my left, no noise, moving with me the whole drive. I made it to Amarillo. Texas. Daylight. It was becoming daylight. I was so tired. I had been up for days. I had to pull over and take a nap. I wasn't going to make it. It's like 9 more hours to Austin. And I pulled over in like a rest area, which they're just like on the side of the highway there. And I remember looking up at that thing, and I was like, fucking abduct me if you want, motherfucker. I was like, I have to sleep, because I thought I was gonna get like abducted if I fell asleep like in the astral or something. I was like, fuck you, motherfucker. I have to go to sleep. And when I fell asleep, it was like daylight, so it turns into this iridescent white color. They turn into this white color, so it just looks like a white thing in the sky. And or it might have still been a light, and when I woke up, it was just this white thing in the sky that was like iridescent, and I just stopped paying attention to it then. I just wanted to get back to my friends and shit in Austin. I hadn't been there in so long. I've been gone for like weeks. But yeah, that was the first time. So then I was living out in like near Lake Travis. I can't think of the name of it right now. But it's out near Lake Travis, not too far from Austin, but out there. And hello, Virginia. And I was living with my friend Matt, and he like on a ranch, and it was like his mom's ranch. It was out there. I wish I could remember the name. And there was some big rehab out there, but it was like close to Lake Travis. And so I would come home at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I would come home, and that thing would follow me into the yard. And it was creepy out there anyway. It was so creepy because it was just like desert. And they had like these horse stables that there was nothing in, like way out in the distance. And there was always weird lights and shit in the fields, but there was nothing out there. Nobody was out there. And but this thing would fly into the yard and follow me in, and I'd wake Matt up if he was asleep, and I would be like, look, and he would wake up, and he's on some of those videos you can hear him talking. He was talking about the reptilian, the like 3-point craft. That was his voice. And so then we tested it one time. I was like, okay, I'm gonna drive to the gas station down the road, you stay here and see what happens, see if it follows me or what happens. So we did that. I jumped in the Jeep. I took off for the gas station. It was like 2 miles down the road or some shit. Clouds manifest out of nowhere, like a storm. And it started drizzling. Came out of nowhere from the time I was leaving the yard, going to the gas station, and then coming back. So weird. Nice. You've been watching the psychic development. Amazing. You are ordained spiritually. Something like that. Anointed. Something like that. I've come to terms with. But I don't use it to feed my ego or anything like that. But there's been a lot of synchronicities. A lot of like information that's come to me that I've gotten confirmation on that. And that's what I think that light is. I think that has something to do with that. But then I've also considered it being a tetrahedron, which is some kind of craft that a being can travel in, that can like morph. I've thought about that, but that was a long time ago. My dude Red was like, it's a tetrahedron. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's a craft. But I think it's because it doesn't matter where I'm at, what side of the world or the continent I'm at, I will wake up and that shit will be shining on me from out of a window. I'll wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? And I have video of, it was completely dark in my friend's driveway, but they had cameras on the back of their trailer. and I was looking at this Jeep that I used to have in the camera, and there was this light shining on my Jeep. Like, it didn't make any sense. It was completely black out there. And I go out there and I'm looking in the driveway, pitch dark. And I turn around and I look up, and there it was. And I was like, oh, it's you. I was like, there you are. And then I took a bunch of video of it that night, and I zoomed in on it, and it looked like this ball of electricity in this ball, straight ball. I could even at one point see a face in it. And then I've even seen them morph. I have video of this too, of them splitting in two and like separating, and then having different colors in them too. It's crazy. I've been trying to get my psychic abilities motivating, and I don't know if I'm just too stagnant or what. Did you do to get yourself in? Evidently, there are thousands of crafts around the earth watching us go through this shift. Yeah, I don't know if it's a craft. I don't think it's a craft. It doesn't seem like a craft to me. And you know what? I even sent all that stuff to the UFO investigator people. I sent it to them, and I told him who I was and what I did and stuff, and everything that you've seen, Matt, if you watch my Instagram stuff. And I sent it to him, and he got back to me, and he was like, I've never seen anything like that before. He said, it looks more to me like a paranormal something. He said he said that's not like any craft he's ever seen. And I was like, well, because it doesn't really look like a craft, except for that one video where it looks like something's under it or something's reflecting off of it. That was kind of weird. Tommy Diamond. Nice. I don't know if I'm just too stagnant, or what did you do to get yourself in? What did I do to get myself in? Oh, that's kind of a, I have to sit with that one for a second. What did I do to get myself in? In my experience, I didn't really do anything. I didn't seek it out. It just came. So, but what I do now to get myself in on command is I switch through levels of consciousness. What you need to focus on if you're having problems, or what I suggest you focus on if you're having problems getting in, is you need to get very clear on what is your mind and what is your core operating system of the psychic intelligence. Because the reason that you're having issues getting in is because your mind is blocking you. It's overriding this system. So there's core beliefs, there's things, it could be stress, it could be unhealed trauma, it could be so many things that just keep you up here and unable to get down here, or silent enough to be down here, because you've got to have a level of silence within you to be able to listen from a different space than just your mind going crazy. Is your mind just constantly going and it won't shut up, and it's like you feel like you have no control over it? What's a plasma ball? Is that like plasma ball? Is that supposedly like a spirit? What's a plasma ball? Does anybody know what? I mean, I've heard of plasma balls, but I don't know, but couldn't plasma ball, so it's like a ball of energy. So couldn't that technically be a ball of energetic intelligence? Because if it's telling me that it's a higher self technology, that could logically be a plasma ball, a ball of energy that's holding an intelligence that is attached to each of us, that we have access to it if we have the wherewithal and the consciousness to call it. And then I always think of that song by Madonna, "You Must Be My Lucky Star, You Shine on Me Wherever You Are." It was like one of my favorite songs when I was a little girl. I always think of that, and I was like, I wonder if that's what she was talking about. When I zoom in on it, that's what it looks like. It looks like a ball of electric energy just moving, almost like the static on a TV, but in a ball. And it's like this blue color. It's like a shade of blue. And it's just constantly like that electric static energy, like moving around. It's crazy. Plasma balls are types of like a spirit. It's a ball of energy. I could see that being the case. But then when it's up in the sky, it looks like a light. It looks like a ball of fire. It like literally looks like a ball of fire. But I could see how that could turn that and the plasma, but how that could be like the same thing. Yeah, it has to be ancient. Spirit hunters, I'm not aware of what that is. Are they hunting things in the sky, or are you talking about things like in houses? Because this is different. Ghost hunters. Yeah, this is different. This isn't, this is, oh, plasma. Okay, now I'm think I know what you're talking about. So it's like if those trans and those people who do the trans, I don't know what it's called. They're kinds of psychics that they like supposedly allow the shit to come in them, and then the thing is speaking through them. And don't they have like photos and stuff of that like plasma stuff going in their mouth and then coming out or something? It's like just plasma, but it's even materialized into some kind of like goo. Okay, so the orbs that you see on the like on the cameras, they're like floaties. Oh, so you think that the things in the sky can come down into our house? You think it's the same thing? I mean, I guess technically it could be. Oh my God, you should see this tree of this place I just moved out of like 5 months ago. I lived there for 2 years. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, on a tree in my backyard that I had been looking at for a year, all of a sudden the bark had formed a photo of a UFO. I have pictures of it, of a UFO with these things coming down from it. And then there was an owl and like some other shit. And then I also noticed that on my stove, there was a carving a carving. This shit came out of nowhere. A carving of a UFO with these little things coming down, and these two like alien looking guys. One looked like a man with a mask and the other one looked like a dog man. and he was shooting things out of his eyes. It was like the craziest fucking shit. Like all of a sudden this stuff just like appeared in my apartment and on this tree. I have something about this. If you go in my videos, you'll see that I have a thumbnail of a picture of a tree on it. And then it's green, and I don't know what it says over there, but that's the picture of the tree. I don't know if I talk about that in the video. I don't know. I don't know if we'll find out about that or not. I think that it's meant for us to ask it and then receive the answers instead of us having to be told, because if we're told, then it's just another belief system. It's like we're just being told something else by someone that we don't trust. I think the whole point is to go within and ask the questions and learn to trust this other intelligence, this system that we have within us that is connected to all of that. Otherwise, it's like, who's going to tell us? The government? And we're supposed to trust that shit? I mean, come on. There's no way. Yeah. Life is nothing. I mean, life isn't anything for me but revelation for sure. I mean, it's constant. Logic cannot be proven, prove its own foundation. It becomes circular. What do you mean by that? Logic cannot prove its own foundation. Logic cannot prove its own foundation. I think that makes sense. Logic cannot prove its own foundation. Unless the logic comes from an experience, it's still a function of the mind. Logic is a function of the mind. It's computed by the mind from past experience, but doesn't necessarily, you're right, doesn't necessarily make it rooted in truth. It's just based off of experience. Exactly, yes. Man-made. I agree. Right, and then the intelligent system that we have within us that I call psychic intelligence or intuitive psychic intelligence, it's ancient, it's with us. It goes with us when we leave our bodies. It's the system of, it's the architecture of the soul, of our spirit and our soul. It's ancient, it's always been there. We've just been thrown into an environment where the mind is hijacked right out of the gate, which I perceive it as being a part of the process. I don't perceive it as being demonic or malicious. I perceive it as that is how this is set up for us to learn and ascend. It's just the way that it is. It's the architecture of how it's set up for us to learn and ascend. Yes, there may be people who think that they are more powerful than God and try to overrule the ancient technology within us and try to take over shit, but it always fails one way or another because that's what they have to go through in order to learn. So that's why I just don't see it as malicious. There may be malicious intent for it coming from the human man-made shit, but that was also a part of the architecture of this container that we're here learning in and ascending to higher levels of consciousness. And you know what I was thinking about today? Because my son, he's 6, and he saw a chemtrail and he didn't know what it was. And I was like, well, that's a chemtrail, because he's obsessed with airplanes. Like, he wants to be a pilot. And I was like, well, that's a chemtrail. And I was like, those are chemicals that they're spraying into the air. And I've been like sitting with this chemtrail shit, and I'm starting to see chemtrails as a part of this whole experience, it being something that has to be sprayed into the air to keep us here going through the experience. Otherwise, we would, it's like something that upholds the amnesia or something like that. Like, it's a part of what holds us in the experience so we can learn in the right context, at the right speed, to get the whole experience. Does it make sense? I'm in the mountains in North Carolina. I'm in the Smoky Mountains in North Carolina, Western North Carolina. The air here is worse than huge cities that I've lived in. I don't know how else to explain it. There's something about the air here that is just foul. Yes, that is one reason to hear. The other reason is to make people sick, so it will reduce the population. Yes, I mean, there's that too. It could be both. It could be the evil men thinking they're reducing the population when really it's helping us somehow. The laws of nature. Oh, what part of Kentucky are you in? Right near Kentucky. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I grew up right next to Kentucky. I agree with that too. No one is evil. People can perceive themselves as evil. Well, I don't know. I kind of struggle with that. Like, people who sacrifice children, people who molest and kill children, that, which I have compassion for those people. And I believe that we've all been every kind of person in all kinds of lifetimes. So we've been those people before in prior lifetimes, or we wouldn't be where we are. And so I can have compassion for those people there. That's just, they're just going with their true nature. But I mean, I don't know. They're still, they might not perceive themselves as evil, but somebody who would hurt or kill or molest or rape or hurt children, or that kind of behavior, I perceive as pretty fucking evil. I mean, that's partaking in some evil behavior. But I don't think that they may not perceive themselves that way. I think that they're just going with their true nature. It was like that's what they were signed up to experience while they're here. Yeah. It all comes down to intention. Some people really do have fucked up intentions. They really do. I like to think everybody is well intended and has integrity and doesn't set out to harm or have fucked up intentions or are preying on your downfall, like that kind of shit. But there are people like that. There's a lot of them. And I have finally come to terms with that. And I stay away from those people as much as possible. And I hope I'm done being sucked in by them. You just have to learn how to protect your energy, really, and make the right decisions. I mean, if you're going to put yourself around fucked up people who are doing fucked up shit, like drugs and, you know, like that kind of stuff, I mean, fucked up shit's going to happen. There's going to be some weird intentions going on. Maybe not by you, but by the people around you. And so there's going to be some kind of backlash. You're going to experience some kind of backlash from that, which I'm just done with that shit. Unfortunately, there are some sick people out there that raise children that end up being more sick than the parents. It's very sad. I wouldn't say that those people are really raising their children. I don't know if I can speak. I can't imagine. Yeah, like if you're like, I can see, like, if family toxicity is crazy. So yeah, like, if the only thing I can conceptualize that with is if I, you know, have children and there's this extremely toxic family unit that goes, I mean, there's just like huge family, tons of toxicity, and like the parents are doing hard drugs with their kids, like that kind of thing. Like it's all like just in this like family, like that to me is that's some heavy shit right there. And I've been around a lot of it too. Like I've just been around a lot of families like that. And it's just crazy. Like that's some, like, I don't even know that I would know how to get out of something like that if that was my experience. Like I don't have that experience. I have an older sister who did drugs with me way too early, and you know, but not like, and my dad let me smoke cigarettes when started smoking cigarettes when I was like 14, which he probably shouldn't have done, but he was a smoker, so, and he started smoking when he was like 7, so, but the drugs and stuff, like, that's like heavy. I don't know. It would be very hard. There's some toxic family systems out there, and I mean, my family's toxic, just in a different way, but that kind of stuff is heavy. I can't imagine that have to be so hard to get out of. So hard. This is just on a whole other level. That's like, I don't even know. It makes me grateful for the kind of toxicity that I have going on with my family, because it doesn't have anything compared to that. Who is at fault? Who is at fault? I mean, I don't know. If a mother chooses to start doing drugs with their kids, I mean, when they're, you know, even if they're 15, 14, or even 18, like that would be the responsibility of the parent. Like, how are you going to, you know, I would see that being the responsibility of the parent. I don't think parents take enough responsibility for their effect on children when they're young. Like, my life started being derailed when I was 12 or 13. My mother takes no responsibility for it. She acts like I was an adult and I was making my own decisions, and she, well, that's not my fault. It's like, well, bitch, yeah, it is. I was 13. You're supposed to be protecting me, not letting me run the streets and do whatever the fuck I wanted. Like, I had no protection. And I have a kid now. So now that I have a kid, I'm like, how in the world? But the world is completely different now too. But still, I mean, and the lack of acknowledgement or responsibility, and the amount of blame that has been placed on me since I was very young is inappropriate and delusional. And I don't put up with that shit anymore. I've been like, my family's been telling me who I am since I was a little kid, and I'm none of those things. I know who I am, and I'm not who they have been telling me I am my whole life. They've been telling me that I am what they are on the inside, that they haven't dealt with, and they were projecting it onto me, and they still try to do that shit, and I fucking call it out in the moment if I can contain myself. It's fucking exhausting. Unfortunately, I have to live around my family right now. Times have changed so much since I was a kid. It's insane. I'm a Gen X, and so different this generation. So Gen X is, you were born in the 70s, right? I think my sisters are Gen X. They were born in the 70s. I was born 82, so I'm like Gen Y or millennial, I guess. I think they consider it. Or I don't know. It's like Gen Y. But Gen X, I think, is like the early 70s to late 70s. I'm Gen X. Oh, really? Let me look that up. So then what are my sisters if they were born in the 70s? They like graduated high school in like the 90s, the early 90s. Is that like Gen Z? No. Huh. Primary generation spanning the 1970s is Generation X, which generally covers birth years 1965 to 1980. People born in the late 70s, around 77 to 83, are also frequently referred to as X, a micro-generation bridge between X and millennials. So you're right. Generation X. Well, Generation X, 65 to 80. Well, millennials or Generation Y is 81 to 96. So I can be considered a millennial or Generation Y also. And then there's the Xennials, which is in 77 to 83, which I fall into too. I don't think I can imagine being born any later than I was. I think it would be very weird. I believe that the world will be a much better place once all the boomers are gone, because literally they have literally ruined everything. All the people running everything today are fucking boomers for the most part. And they've literally dug everything into the fucking ground. Last gen to eat mud pies, right? Oh my God. We lived outside. No phones. We raised ourselves. Nobody raised me, not really. I like raised myself. Sneak out of the house. No cell phones. Tapes. Remember having to burn our own mixtapes? Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, they do keep fucking everything up, and they don't take responsibility for any of it. They act like they don't remember. Selective memory. It's fucking bullshit. It is truly the narcissistic generation. it's like, it's just like narcissism, like everywhere. Raising other narcissists. It's like that whole fucking thing is like, has to get eradicated. Yeah, exactly. I know, right? Get away with shit. Kind of. You had a chance of getting away with shit, at least. Oh my god. It's not all Alzheimer's. I experience a selective memory every day from the people I'm around. It might turn into Alzheimer's, but it's selective memory. All right, I think I'm gonna get off of here. It's getting late.